The night I lost everything, I made myself one promise. I would never trust anyone again. Not a woman, not love, not promises whispered under moonlight. Because every promise I had ever believed had turned into a lie. My name is Adrian Carter. 9 months ago, I signed the divorce papers that destroyed my life. I still remember the sound of the pen scratching across the paper. It sounded like a coffin closing. For 3 years, I believed Emily was my soulmate. I fought my family to marry her. My father begged me to think twice. My best friend warned me she wasn't who she pretended to be. But love makes intelligent people do foolish things. I ignored every warning. I believed love could fix anything. I was wrong. 1 month after our divorce, Emily married a millionaire named Ethan Brooks. Luxury cars, designer clothes, private vacations. Everything she claimed she never cared about suddenly became her entire personality. And somehow, she always managed to drive past my apartment every weekend, every single weekend. She wanted me to see what I had lost. One afternoon, she rolled down the window of her white Mercedes. She smiled. Not the smile I once loved, a cruel one. "You were never enough for me, Adrian." Her husband laughed beside her. "I finally married a real man." They drove away, leaving me standing there with groceries in my hands, feeling smaller than I had ever felt. That night, I packed everything I owned into 2 old suitcases. There was nothing left for me in New York. Every street reminded me of her. Every coffee shop, every park, every memory hurt. So I accepted a transfer to our company's headquarters in Chicago. A new city, a new beginning. Or so I thought. Chicago welcomed me with freezing rain. Gray skies stretched across the city. The towering buildings looked cold, unfriendly. Perfect. Because that's exactly how I felt inside. My apartment wasn't much. 1 bedroom, 1 small kitchen, 1 cracked window overlooking an alley. But for the first time in months, no memories lived there. I could breathe. 2 days later, I walked into Carter and Pierce Holdings, one of the fastest growing companies in the country. Rumors said the CEO was young, brilliant, demanding, impossible to impress. Nobody stayed in her department for long. Employees feared her more than deadlines. I assumed those stories were exaggerated, until I met her. The executive assistant opened a massive glass door. "Miss Lawson is waiting." I stepped inside, and everything became strangely quiet. She stood beside the window overlooking downtown Chicago. Black business suit, long dark hair, sharp green eyes. She couldn't have been older than 26. She didn't even look up immediately. She finished signing a document first. Only then. She raised her eyes for exactly 3 seconds. Those 3 seconds felt like an interview, a judgment, and somehow, a warning. "So," her voice was calm. "You are Adrian Carter?" "Yes, ma'am." "I've read your employment record." She closed the file. "You work hard." I nodded. "I try my best." She stared for another moment. "I don't reward people for trying. I reward results." "Can you deliver results?" "Yes." Another long silence. Finally. "Good." She pressed a button on her desk. A manager entered immediately. "Show Mr. Founder his office. And tell everyone, he reports directly to me." The meeting lasted less than 4 minutes, yet somehow, I walked out feeling like I had survived an interrogation. The manager chuckled while leading me downstairs. "You handled that better than most." "Is she always like that?" He laughed. divorce. I looked confused. He lowered his voice. 5 years ago, someone broke her heart. Since then, she trusts nobody, especially men. I almost laughed. Great. Out of every company in America, I had somehow ended up working for a woman who hated men, right after surviving a marriage that made me question love forever. Maybe fate had a strange sense of humor. That evening, as I sat alone in my tiny apartment, my phone buzzed. A known number. I answered. A lawyer's voice came to the speaker. Mr. Carter. Yes. You have 10 days to pay $1 million. Failure to do so will result in legal action. My heart stopped. Emily. Even after destroying my life, she still wasn't finished. And I had absolutely no idea that this phone call would lead me to the most unexpected marriage of my life. To be continued.